Should you become a YouTuber? Here is the brutal truth. I don't know why I'm blah 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 blah. Look at um look at this flattering angle of my jawline. It's great. Anyway. So check this out. I'm currently at a hotel on the 15th floor, and I was inspired to make this video. The reason being is not many people on a Tuesday afternoon, right? I'm filming this around, is it 3:30? Almost 4 p.m. Not many people on a Tuesday afternoon could work from a hotel, relax on a couch, be on a laptop, make YouTube videos, do communication, email. It's just a different lifestyle, right? And so I had this idea of what if I made a video about should you become a YouTuber? Just being completely honest of the pros and cons, because no job is perfect. Trust. I've looked. Every job has its challenges, and challenges are actually what makes your career, your job, your business, I don't know, fulfilling. Because if it's not challenging, you get bored, right? So it's that balance between like your competence and your confidence, and it's just not good to be bored. All right, most part. Well, that's my opinion. So here are the pros and cons of should you become a YouTuber? Literally the brutal truth. And what it really comes down to is really what do you prefer? Let's talk about pro and con number one, because each of these things can be a pro based on your perspective, right? It's very subjective. So pro number one, just like I'm here on a random hotel in California, there's geographical freedom. What does that mean? I can work anywhere I want. I can literally travel to a different country tomorrow if I wanted. I probably have to renew my passport, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I could work from anywhere. That's a pro. That's also a con based on your perspective, because the fact that I'm so remote and the fact that I'm not tied to one place, it is a little more challenging to cultivate deeper work relationships, because I have really good relationships with the people I work with the YouTubers I work with the clients I have, also my remote team members. So check this out. Like, I have over around 20 people on my roster that help me in my business part-time. Some of them are just freelance, and I've never seen them in person. A lot of them are in the Philippines. So it's just a different. Some people would love that because they don't want to spend time with people physically, and they love being fully remote. So it's really based on you. For me, a lot of my clients, I see them once a month. For me, once a month is a sweet spot of like, you really appreciate the time you have with them. And it's kind of like proximity. Like, how do I say this? I feel like you appreciate people more when you don't see them that often. The people that you kind of take advantage of are the people closest to you that you spend the most time with, whether that's your significant other or your family or your friends. So for me, the sweet spot is like once a month. If I see people I care about once a month, if I see my clients that I care about once a month, I'm happy. It's like the sweet spot for me. And that's just my preference. Pro and con number two, financial freedom. Now, what do I mean by financial freedom? When you're a YouTuber, when you own your own business, you can make as much money as you want, right? You can literally make as much money as you want. You just have to put more effort in, be more strategic, have a better team, but you get rewarded for your effort. However, when you are working full time for another person, if you don't have equity and there's no revenue share, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much results you get, your income is capped, right? And of course, you might be able to get a raise once a year, or you have benefits and things like that. Some businesses and companies that you can work for also have bonuses. So there are, better vehicles and there's better opportunities for you. And once again, it's your preference, right? the con of this financial freedom is also, if I do not work, if my business does not generate more clients, if I lose clients, or if I stop making videos for my own YouTube channels, I do not make money, right? If YouTube shuts down, I make no money, right? So the con would be, there's more risk involved, but because of the risk, you're I know I'm on the side of pros, of course, because that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. But because you don't have financial stability, you also have financial like freedom. You could make as much money as you want. So I guess I turned the con into a pro in my head again. Um, so yeah. So number one was geographical. I don't even know if that's a word. Freedom. And then number two is financial freedom. Number three, time freedom. I guess these are all freedoms, right? Time freedom. So what's the pro? What do I mean by time freedom? I mean, my time is very flexible. I have a set schedule that I usually follow every single day. But if something happens, for example, like I had to take my mom to the hospital, right? I don't have to ask a boss for permission to drop everything I'm doing to bring my mom to the hospital. That's like that's amazing. That's amazing benefit. When I have a kid and I need to bring the kid to some kind of like soccer practice, if I choose to do so, or basketball, whatever the sport is, I can move things around. I can choose to work at 5 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m. I can work at 10 p.m. at night if I wanted. I choose when I work. Another thing with time freedom is if I get something done quicker, I'm done. I don't have to keep on working just because I'm on the clock, right? So, for those who don't know, I have a portfolio of YouTube channels that I grow and a portfolio of YouTube channels that are clients that I help grow their channels. For those clients I have deliverables. I have a recurring retainer monthly with a majority of them. And I have deliverables to execute on certain things, whether it's uh, ideation, strategy, analytics report, whatever it may be, right? Every client's completely different. And let's say I needed to get a report done today, right? That's the number one thing I need to get done. If it takes me 3 hours and I do not want to work anymore, I don't have to fill in my 8 hour time slot, right? So I'm basically rewarded for focusing. I'm rewarded for finding better systems. I'm rewarded for working more efficiently. What happens when you work at a job where you clock in 8 hours? When you're done with your work, you have to fill up those remaining hours, regardless of how important they are or not. So you'll find this, I'm sure you've experienced this, where it's like you're done with your work and then there's just more work. It's like it's never ending. So the incentive to work hard and smart and faster is not there because you're being paid by your time, not your results. So what would the con be for time freedom? I honestly don't see one, honestly. Okay, because I have freedom, right? If you're a YouTuber and you have your own business, because you have freedom in your schedule, I've experienced this myself. There are moments in my career where I lack discipline and structure. When you have a job and you're forced to work a certain amount of hours per day during a time slot, you are naturally going to build the habits of discipline and structure, which is healthy, right? You know, for a majority of us, we're not meant to work at 11 p.m. at night, right? But when you're working for yourself, you might not have the discipline to work at the right times. That's healthy for you in the long run. So I guess that's one of the cons of having time freedom. Freedom. You can lose structure and discipline and focus. Like I said, of course, there's way more pros. There's way more pros. So how long have I been doing YouTube? I wasn't doing it full time yet, but I started YouTube like 16 years ago, which is wild. Which is wild. Um, that's wild. But full time, I don't know. I have to do the math again. Full time, maybe like over 10 years now, uh, which is wild also. So should you become a YouTuber? Brutal truth is, it's really up to you. if I'm a believer. So the reason I'm at the place where I'm at is because I trusted God and what I was being called to do. Um, some people are called to do a certain job that requires a different type of lifestyle. Like if you're called to be a doctor and you or a surgeon or whatever like that, and that's a different lifestyle, and you should follow what you're called to do. Number one, who cares about your financial freedom, your time freedom, your geographical freedom? I think you should just honor what you feel called to do. Um, I'm a little blabbering a little bit, but so should you become a YouTuber? I'm just repeating the hook to myself. So should you become a YouTuber? It's really up to you. Some people can't stomach. Um, Let me give you some background. So before I went full time on my own channels, right, and I started building channelowners.com, I was working full time for another YouTuber, and I basically got fired because I wanted to work remotely, and it wasn't working out. But it was such a blessing because at that moment, I'm actually getting it tattooed. It's October 1, 2022. I had a I had a decision that weekend, right? I was like fired on a Friday or something, and immediately, I had the employee mindset. So immediately I started reeling like, yo, like I've been offered to work full time for other YouTubers. I still have so many opportunities. Like, who can I call right now to get a full time job, or text or whatever? And I happened to be, where was I at? I think I was at like, I was actually at another hotel. I was at Pachanga. This is like near Marietta, California. And it's like a really nice resort. And I was just like thinking about it, and I just like was praying about it. And I was like, I just felt this voice saying, like, go all in on your own channels, go all in on your own business. And so that was October 1, 2022, when I just honored that calling. And it's been amazing ever since. Not only do I make way more money having my own business and growing my own YouTube channels full time and helping others grow theirs, I'm getting like the benefits. Like, how do I say this? I have the lifestyle that I want. This is literally the lifestyle that I want, I'm thankful for, and I could probably have this lifestyle for the rest of my life. I'm thinking about things like, what really proved the value of having an online business is when COVID happened, right? The businesses that strived, like everyone in my industry, everyone in YouTube, like didn't even feel financial pressure or financial like stress. If anything, we actually started making more money because more people were online because they were like quarantined at home, right? Where am I going with this? Oh yeah, I honored the calling to build my own thing, and it's been amazing ever since. There's ups and downs, and but when I like look at my life at a macro level, when I take a step back, I 100% am thankful that I took that leap of faith. Um, Financially, I have more peace, I have more freedom, um, and like I said before, like you should do what you're being called to do. Period. I wasn't expecting to like talk about faith as much in this video, but it's really true. Like, should you become a YouTuber? Like, it's really based on if you're called to do so. And whatever you're called to do, also, YouTube is just a platform that you can use to communicate and deliver on your purpose. So let's say, I guess we talked about the medical field, right? There's doctors, there's nutritionists, there's all these people, psychiatrists, who use YouTube to make a bigger difference in the world, right? So whatever you're called to do, YouTube is just another way for you to help more people. Uh, I've actually met a chiropractor who, as crazy as this sounds, like started making way more money filming his chiropractic sessions and putting it on YouTube than his own chiropractic practice, right? And by putting it on YouTube, he created freedom to the point where he only does sessions if it's beneficial for his channel and beneficial because he just wants to, right? And you could tell he's making a difference because what's interesting, when you document your profession or whatever you do for a living, when you make a YouTube video or build a YouTube channel, build a YouTube audience around it, you are introducing that service to the world, really. People that might not even consider going to you, but when they see you online, and see the results you have with your patients or customers or whatever you do for a living, you're building trust in a relationship with them, and now you could actually you could build your business even more, whatever it is. And let's say you don't even, my arms are getting a little tired. Let's say you don't even want to have your own business. Let's say you want to work full time for a company or a business or another business. um, Having a YouTube channel can actually help you uh, raise your salary and your income. How is that? It's proven that when you have an audience, well, everyone's situation is different, but let's say you're let's say you're an actor or actress. Yeah, sure, actor and actress. It's so much easier for you to get casted into shows when you have an audience, a social media following, whatever it may be, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, or all of the above. When you have that and you're trying to be hired for a project, it's easier for them to pick you. So if you're good and you have a massive following, it helps you in your job, helps you in your career. There's other examples of this, I'm sure. Oh, like let's say you're a professor at a college. I've heard of cases where because you have a YouTube following, you know, your class can be higher in demand. And what's the benefit of that? It's the fact because your class is in demand, your department might not get a budget cut. I'm just giving an example. So, should you become a YouTuber? The brutal truth is, I can't answer that question for you. It's really based on your preference. And you know what? Here's the cool part. You could build your YouTube channel part-time. You don't even have to go full-time in it, right? When I first started almost 17 years ago, around 17 years ago, I was doing it part-time while I was in college. That shows you what my age is. No, wait. I started before college. It was like around like the end of high school. Uh, so you could do amazing things on YouTube and just in general. You don't have to go full time in something to make it matter and to build something over time because it is a long term business, right? I work with clients who started new channels. I've worked with clients who have had channels for a very long time. And some things just take longer than others. And if you pivot on a channel, there's I call myself a YouTube channel developer because it takes time. You got to develop things, whether it's your series, your videos, your understanding of your audience and their psychology. Uh, I think the example would be like, let's say an Apple iPhone, right? We're probably on generate. I know we're on iPhone 15, but I'm sure there's hundreds and thousands of iterations that we don't even see on the iPhone, and it's just constantly being developed. And it's the same thing with your YouTube channel. And actually, if we focus on the topic of this video, which is being a YouTuber, you can create the type of YouTube channel and the kind of lifestyle that you enjoy. I have a portfolio of faceless channels where people don't even know it's me, right? It's not my voice. I use AI. Um, and and that was because I didn't want to show my face, right? And now I have other channels where I do show my face. And so you can make YouTube the way you want. You can make it work for you, right? And it's going to be a journey, and that's part of the excitement, right? And I'm not going to promise you, I'm not going to lay here, I guess. I'm not going to promise you that you're going to get like, a six-figure income in your first year. I'm not going to say that. But I'm also not going to say it's not possible to get that in 3 months, right? And there's different business models, right? And that's a topic for a different video, right? There's so many ways for you to monetize your YouTube channel and your YouTube audience. So, should you become a YouTuber? Number one, follow your calling, right? It's really based on if you're called to do so. And I think that's if you're called to do something, just do it. I wish I listened to that voice way more because it took me getting fired for me to go all in full time in my own business, my own YouTube channels. And sometimes you need a wake up call. It was that like sometimes things don't have to. Sometimes things are supposed to not go your way, so you could find the way that actually works better for you. And so I'm thankful. I think sometimes God forces you to change, or God forces you to. grow and improve. And, you know, sometimes doors are closed to redirect you to the hallway with the open doors, right? So, yeah. So, should you become a YouTuber? It's up to you.